So I think is when they play Lupin or any like the national anthem. And after battling through the most grueling match of her career, Alex Ella stands on the court exhausted, every muscle aching, lungs burning, and hands still trembling from adrenaline. The crowd is on its feet, chanting her name as she grips her worn, sweat-soaked racket, strings frayed, grip unraveling, tape barely holding it together. To anyone else, it looks like damaged equipment ready to be replaced. But to her, it represents years of sacrifice. The early mornings, the heartbreaking losses, and the victories that kept her believing. In that emotional moment, a powerful figure rises from the VIP section: Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid, a billionaire worth over $50 billion known for owning private islands, collecting rare Ferraris, and casually purchasing priceless art. Walking beside him is a young girl around 12 or 13, visibly overwhelmed with emotion. As the stadium falls into complete silence, the billionaire confidently takes the microphone from a stunned official and locks eyes with Alex, signaling that something extraordinary is about to unfold, points directly at the battered tape-wrapped racket in her hand and makes an offer that freezes the entire stadium. $10 million in cash for that single racket. Not a sponsorship deal, not a long-term contract. $10 million US on the spot. More money than many professional players earn in a lifetime. Enough to secure generations, buy homes across continents, and erase financial worry forever. For most people, the decision would be instant. They would hand over the racket before the sentence was even finished. But Alex Ella is not most people. She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't blink. In just 5 seconds, she delivers a response so sincere, so powerful, and so filled with raw emotion that it stuns the crowd and moves the billionaire and his young daughter to tears on live television. It becomes more than a viral moment. It becomes a statement about integrity, values, and what truly defines a champion. This isn't just about money. It's about the priceless nature of conviction when unlimited wealth meets a spirit that simply cannot be bought. You truly understand the significance of what unfolded on that court. We have to rewind to the battle that took place just moments earlier. This wasn't a friendly exhibition or a routine tournament match. It was a war. The stakes were sky high and Alex Ella was fighting for everything. As the pride of the Philippines, she has built a journey that has inspired tennis fans worldwide. From training at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain to grinding through the unforgiving ITF circuit, battling qualifiers, and making history as the first Filipino to win a junior Grand Slam singles title at the US Open, her rise has been nothing short of remarkable. But on this particular day, the energy felt different. The stadium buzzed with electricity, thick with tension and anticipation, as if everyone present could sense that they were witnessing more than just a match. They were witnessing a defining moment. The expectations were crushing, pressing down on her shoulders as she faced an opponent playing the match of her life. The rallies were brutal. 20, even 30-shot exchanges with both players sprinting baseline to baseline, firing ground strokes that cracked through the stadium like gunshots. Alex Ella unleashed her signature left-handed forehand, carving impossible angles that seemed to bend the laws of geometry. But her opponent refused to yield. It was a pure dog fight, every set fiercely contested, every game a war. The crowd erupted with every point, Filipino flags waving wildly in a sea of red, blue, white, and yellow. The tension was suffocating. Then came championship point. The stadium fell into complete silence. You could almost hear the wind moving through the arena. Alex tossed the ball high, delivered a precise, powerful serve, and after a fierce exchange, slid effortlessly across the clay, just as she had perfected during her year's training in Spain, and ripped a forehand winner down the line that her opponent couldn't touch. Game, set, match. The stadium exploded in a primal roar. Fans leapt to their feet, screaming, crying, embracing strangers as flags waved in celebration. Overcome, Alex dropped a racket, bent over with her hands on her knees, and let the magnitude of the moment wash over her. This was the kind of victory athletes dream about their entire lives. This was the moment that made every sacrifice, every painful loss, every brutal early morning and exhausting late night worth it. Alex Ella looked up toward her team in the players' box and saw pure joy and relief written across their faces. This wasn't just another victory to add to the record books. It was validation. It was proof. It was a statement to the tennis world that she belonged. Normally, the story would follow a familiar script. The trophy ceremony, the formal speeches, the sponsor presentations, the oversized check, the gracious thank you interview, the confetti, the photographs, and the celebration. But this was not a normal day. From the most exclusive VIP section of the arena, a powerful figure began descending toward the court. Security instinctively stepped forward to stop him, but he dismissed them with effortless authority. It was Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid. Those who recognized him immediately sensed that something extraordinary was about to unfold. For anyone unfamiliar with his name understand this. He wasn't just wealthy. He operated in a financial universe that only a fraction of the world could even comprehend. His fortune built through oil, real estate, technology investments, and vast business ventures across the Middle East and beyond was estimated at over $50 billion, a figure larger than the GDP of some small nations. Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid lived in a financial reality most people could barely comprehend. He owned multiple private jets simply because he could. Private Mediterranean islands complete with helipads and harbors, and rare car collections featuring models so exclusive only a handful existed worldwide. For him, money had never been a limitation. If he desired something, it was his. Walking quickly beside him was his young daughter, Aisha Al Rashid, clutching a tennis ball as though it were priceless. She was visibly trembling, eyes shining with unshed tears, completely transfixed, not by the cameras turning toward her, nor by the roaring crowd, but by Alex Ella herself. She stared at the champion as if witnessing a real-life superhero. With calm authority born from a lifetime of power, Sheikh Khaled approached a stunned tournament official and took the microphone, the entire stadium holding its breath as he prepared to speak. The tournament official stood frozen, glancing around helplessly as protocol unraveled in real time. The roaring celebration slowly dissolved into uneasy silence as fans realized something extraordinary, almost surreal, was unfolding. Whispers rippled through the stands as those who recognized Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid hurriedly explained to others who he was. When he finally spoke, his deep authoritative voice echoed through the stadium, each word deliberate, steady, and unexpectedly emotional. Though known as a stoic titan of business, today he spoke first not as a billionaire but as a father. He gently gestured toward his daughter, Aisha Al Rashid, and the cameras zoomed in on her tear-filled eyes. He explained that she had idolized Alex Ella for years, that posters of the Filipina champion covered her bedroom walls, and that she spent countless hours on their private tennis courts trying to replicate Alex's signature forehand, sometimes until exhaustion brought her to tears. He shared how Aisha had pleaded to attend this tournament, how they had traveled specifically to watch her hero compete. Then he turned directly to Alex, who was still catching her breath, still gripping the battle-worn racket that had just secured victory. His voice softened as he told her she was more than an athlete to his daughter. She was an inspiration, a role model, a symbol of perseverance and integrity. And then, with the entire stadium holding its breath, he made the offer that would send shockwaves far beyond the arena. He wanted to buy the very racket she had just used to win. He wasn't offering a few thousand or even a generous six-figure sum. Sheikh Al Rashid was offering $10 million US for the championship racket. He made it clear this was no joke and no publicity stunt. Pulling a checkbook from his jacket, he held it up before the stunned crowd, ready to write the amount on the spot. A collective gasp swept through the stadium. $10 million. The number echoed in everyone's mind, sounding more surreal each time. Broadcasters scrambled to process what was happening while social media exploded within seconds. Clips of the offer spreading across the globe. What had been a tennis final was suddenly an international spectacle. Tio grasped the magnitude of that figure. Consider sports memorabilia history. A game-worn jersey for Michael Jordan's 1998 NBA Finals sold for over $10 million. And a 1952 baseball card of Mickey Mantle fetched $12 million, items tied to legends and decades of cultural significance. Yet here was a billionaire offering comparable money for a racket Alex Ella had used just minutes earlier. The sweat still fresh on the grip, the moment not even cooled by time. Sensing the disbelief, he doubled down, explaining that to him this wasn't about buying equipment. It was about securing a symbol. In his eyes, the racket represented passion, sacrifice, and excellence. Values he wanted his daughter Ayesha Al-Rashid to carry with her forever. To repeatedly offer $10 million is tone sincere, even providing his contact details and inviting her team to discuss it further if she wished. To understand the weight of that figure, consider that $10 million exceeds the total career prize money of most professional players. Only icons like Roger Federer, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, and Novak Djokovic have earned that level of tournament income across their legendary careers. For someone still early in her journey like Alex Ella, it represented generational wealth, freedom from training costs, travel expenses, coaching fees, physiotherapy bills, and the financial pressures that end so many promising careers. It was enough to fund tennis mize across the Philippines, or to walk away from the sport entirely and live in comfort for decades. The camera zoomed tightly onto her face as the stadium fell into absolute silence. For 5 long seconds that felt like hours, she said nothing, gripping the racket that had just secured her victory. No one could read her expression. Was she tempted, calculating, wrestling with the magnitude of what stood before her? What happened next resonated far beyond tennis because it touched something universal. In a world often driven by money, sponsorships, and transactions, she looked at $10 million life-changing wealth and refused to let it define her. Her decision wasn't just about a racket. It was about values. It reminded people that integrity still exists, that not everything has a price, and that character can outweigh currency and the Philippines. The reaction went beyond pride. It bordered on reverence. Alex was already celebrated for her achievements, but this moment elevated her into something greater. She became more than a champion on the court. She became a symbol of national values, grace under pressure, humility, and victory, and the belief that relationships and principles matter more than material wealth. Alexandra Ella's decision has elevated her beyond athlete status. She has become the ultimate role model for children across the Philippines. Her name is now mentioned alongside the country's greatest heroes and cultural icons. With discussions already underway about naming streets and facilities after her, the cultural impact of that moment cannot be overstated. So, what comes next for her after turning down $10 million and becoming a global sensation for all the right reasons? Ironically, marketing experts suggest that this very choice could end up earning her far more than that sum over the course of her career. Authenticity is the most valuable currency in today's world. And what happened on that court cannot be faked, scripted, or manufactured in a boardroom. Brands from Nike and Adidas to Rolex and other luxury companies are now watching closely. When someone wears an Alexandra Ella jersey or purchases a product she endorses, they aren't just supporting a tennis player, they're supporting a young woman who looked $1 billion